Today we're going to have a nice short review for you looking at Aero Fighters 2, which is known in Japan as Sonic Wings 2. It was released in 1994 on the Neo Geo MVS hardware and is actually the follow-up to Video System's 1992 arcade hit Aero Fighters, which in and of itself was the spiritual successor to Turbo Force. Now, none of those other games were on the Neo Geo hardware, just in case you're wondering. This is one shoot 'em up that I never really got into, and that's one of the reasons why the review isn't going to be too long. It's actually a pretty fun game, and it has some pretty unique tweaks to it. For starters, you have a wide assortment of different characters you can use, each with their own ship, and as you guessed it, all of the different ships play completely differently than one another. Your primary weapons are different, your special bombs are different, and of course the ships look different. So the replay value here is actually through the roof. What I especially like is that there's a ship here for everyone. Some ships will have lasers, others more of a spread shot, and so on and so forth. What I really like though are the playable characters. They're just ridiculous. You can even play as a dolphin. Yes, that's right, a dolphin pilot. There are 10 stages in total, with the 3rd and 7th stage acting more of something like a bonus stage than a full-fledged stage. I really like this as it allows you to take almost like a breather or two while you dodge countless enemies who would love nothing more than to smash into you and kill you. In terms of overall difficulty, this one is skewed a bit to the tougher side of the difficulty scale. You have kamikaze enemies, you have destructible bullets, then you have indestructible bullets, you've got laser, there are enemies in the air, there are enemies on the land, there's even environmental enemies that will come out of buildings and whatnot. So there's basically a lot of stuff that can happen at any given moment. It's awesome to experience, but it does take a little bit of getting used to just because there's so much stuff going on at once and you're kind of fixated on looking for one particular kind of projectile, when in reality there might be like 4 or 5 different types. One thing I disliked though was the graphics. They don't look that great. I find the enemies look good, there's a lot of good sprite work here, but the backgrounds are just blah. They're pretty much forgettable, and there's no movement to them. Like, if there would have been 2 or 3 layers of parallax scrolling, I think that would have gone a long way in making this one stand out. But as it is here, it just doesn't look all that special. Thankfully, the audio is really good though. That includes the sound effects. I guess I was just expecting a little bit more. I had played this one previously, but it was a while back and I didn't get really into it, so I thought maybe this time around I would, but alas, no. Thankfully, the game has it where it counts in terms of gameplay, and the 2-player co-op mode makes it extremely entertaining if you have a friend over. If it had just a little bit more polish, I think it would have been a little bit more enjoyable than it is right now. These days, I find myself gravitating more and more towards bullet hell shooters over traditional shmups, but hey, if you're a fan of the Neo Geo, you could do a lot worse than Aero Fighters 2.